Hello humans, Master Interflex here, bringing you the low quality content you deserve, and today I'll finally be going over Tellarknights with the new support, well, whatever set they come in. Before I get into this video, it's actually not going to be as long as others, and there's only one replay at the start, basically because I already did this video with Legacy Crusaders. I'll have a link to his channel down below. And basically, we already went over a lot of things about this deck list. I wanted to tie it all up and give you guys some insight on why I do this and that, blah, 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 whatever. So, in addition, let me explain this before. This deck list right here, and the same in that video, is that basically, if I build it for anti-tier, anti-bestial, blah, 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 that's not how that works. This deck doesn't exist right now. It just doesn't. We don't play a game where these cards are involved. So if that's the case, why would I put in anti-bestial cards, anti-tier cards, when in reality, by the time we get these cards, they're not even in the future, they're in the future's future. So if I build it for right now, that only creates deck building biases. And I don't like doing that. So this deck list is incredibly neutral and assumes there's no such thing as a Yu-Gi-Oh format. Otherwise, it just creates a huge mess, and you have to unlearn things about a deck list, which is why this deck list is going to be very neutral, and by the time we do actually get it, you can make these decisions of going this direction or that direction when it actually matters. So, let's get into it. So, triple Lyra, triple Deneb, 2 Altair, 1 Unukalai, 1 Vega, 1 Altea, 1 Sirius. Now, in this deck list, as you can see, I have fully committed to the idea that the only reason Tellarknights were a trap deck is because they didn't have the option to be anything else. So once you give them that option, they're obviously going to try to be something else. They did not play 20-something trap cards because it was good. They did it because they couldn't do anything else. And when I tried to go back to trap theory, like what I saw with Lithium, it just wasn't as good as this. It just wasn't. You are better off actually committing to playing your deck than like sitting on random traps until eventually you have a one-card play that probably doesn't resolve. That just wasn't good enough. I'd rather have multiple extenders to where my opponent can interrupt and whatever, and I still play. I'd rather do that. Which is why 3 Lyra is in here, because there's a lot of normal summons in this deck, and I like to have a monster that can benefit from that. 3 Deneb, obviously. Then Altair, no matter what build you are playing, you do not need 3 Altair. Altair is very good, but for the combo, you need 1 to resolve, and then 1 to search for the next turn, and then that's it. You will never, ever care about another one, ever. And even to the point, Tellarknight Constellar is just a better version of what Altair does. So you do not need to play 3 at all. Unukalai actually now has an effect that matters at all in the deck list because it can dump Altea. So this card actually matters on some level, which is hilarious because before this support, this card's effect might as well just not have existed. You were literally planning on having this with Call of the Haunted and hoping that was a starter. That's not good. 1 Vega, very good. It can also fix very monster-heavy hands. 1 Altea, I will say, if you are scared of Bestials and things like that in the future, you'd want to play more than one of these. This card is exceptional. It's literally my favorite card in the deck list, monster-wise. It allows you to do so much. It lets you have Disruption against Dark Ruler. It lets you do all kinds of things, like pop a whole board, pop multiple things on your opponent's turn. Just exceptional, exceptional card. And 1 serious. There's a less serious choice, but in format neutral, which is what it is, this card allows you to play your deck infinitely, because this can return all Constellars back, and this can return all Tellarknights back. So basically, you have an infinite deck. And that's really cool, because I had a game. I lost the game, but it was because I played into Nibiru for no reason. Where my game plan was, instead of outing a towers, I would deck my opponent out, because the towers couldn't deal with the constant infiniteness of the deck. And the only reason I lost, they were like at 5 or 3 cards, is because I played into Nibiru for no reason. Otherwise, I literally would have won to deck out. That's how infinite this interaction can be. 3 Sheraton, you probably want to put this down to 2 or even 1, but you don't want to play 0, because if you play one of them, you can have extra deck Caduceus, search main deck Caduceus, which can generate an extra level 4 when you're trying to generate Tellarknight Constellar, which is so powerful. I cannot stress that enough, how insanely powerful that is. So, the Knuckle Sword, 1 major change I'll explain later, and then some level 4s that just summon themselves. 3 Tellarknight Constellar, if you need to play 3 of this. It's actually just not a debate. So, if you're worried about this clogging your hand, first off, it unclogs your hand, so that isn't a concern. So the only reason you would worry about not drawing this optimally is if your hand is already unplayable. And that is a problem with deck building prior rather than the card itself. Like, the problem, I don't see a point in trying to play a trap version of this deck list, because it doesn't actually make any sense when you sit down and think about it. This deck wants to spam level 4s. This card allows that. Traps don't, and traps get in the way of it trying to do anything. So I'd rather go this approach, and this card is just a better Altier, so why wouldn't you play it? Even if you wanted to go the trap version, you are Trevere bouncing, so I want to see this card. So yeah, triple of this. 1 Skybridge lets your board have some disruption even when you get Dark Rulered. 1 Genesis. The deck list gets worse when you cut this. It's powerful. It's weird. It only hits like back row, I know, but like a lot of trap decks now are like can resist a Feather Duster, but they can't do it multiple times. So this is kind of insane. It also just allows you to clear random nonsense. I actually like it a lot. I think it's better in the deck list than without. 1 Twinkle. You have to play it if you're playing Sheraton, and I think you should be playing Sheraton, but it can also sometimes let you make a Pleiades with it, so that's cool. 1 Rhoda, 1 Called By. Living Fossil is the best equipped spell. Not even a comparison, not even a competition. I'll explain soon. Triple Droplet, triple Book of Moon for format neutral, and then 3 more level 4s that summon themselves. Side deck, it's format neutral, so it doesn't matter. Then double Caduceus. When you play 2 Caduceus, you actually play infinite of them because it can put back the other one. So that's cool. 1 Trevere, really strong. You usually make it on your opponent's turn if you go for the Batlinus play. And then 1 Tolmaeus, 1 Deltaros, which is required for the combo. Pleiades is strong, Diamond is strong, M7 required for the combo. Nova Infinity. So earlier I was trying to hard make this, but what I've noticed is with this deck list specifically, you're spamming so many level 4s. It's actually very likely you will spam 3 level 4s before you even start your combo. So if I'm going to do that, I'd rather have Infinity there than incorporate it into my combo when instead I could use it as insulation for my combo. So that's why I have it like this. And this is the biggest change. I've replaced the rank 1 heroic for Gaga Magician. And this was a mistake. Not only did it cause me problems, but I noticed a lot of people, after following my deck list, started playing the rank 1 as well. Don't play the rank 1. So play this card instead. So one of the things about Knuckle Sword is that it can turn another warrior into a level 1, but it can also reverse that where it can turn itself into a level 4. And if that's the case, you shouldn't play the Knuckle at all. You should play Gaga Magician. So let me explain why. So when you play Gaga whatever Magician, Goo Gaga, you actually don't need Isolde to resolve pretty much ever. So that means this card is not fragile. It actually just is a benefit. It's just a free resource rather than something that has to resolve. And that's because Gaga Magician, if you draw Living Fossil, it is the exact same as Isolde resolving. Because the whole point of Isolde is it's going to dump this one equip spell to make a level 4, but if you draw Living Fossil, you just make a level 4 out of your graveyard. So that's the same as Isolde resolving. So then, if Knuckle Sword is drawn instead, that's where Caduceus main deck comes in, because when Caduceus extra deck banishes Sheraton to get this to tutor to Tellarknight Constellar, you actually generate an extra level 4, meaning the only hand that Isolde needs to resolve is when you draw Sheraton and no other cards. So that's why you should play Gaga Magician. Not to mention, it's independent from Isolde. It doesn't need Isolde to ever be summoned to be useful, because it's 2 level 4s, and it's a dark attribute for Altea, and its effect is reviving Xyz for Altea. So this card is just exceptional. It is so much better than whatever I was playing the heroic thing. Just play this instead. It's so much better. You will love it. And then Zeus, because it's a monster. And then Isolde and Apollousa. So yep, that's been it. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And like I said, I'm going to leave a link down in the description to Legacy Crusaders video. We go into it more and more. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you all for watching. And remember, Master Interflex will take your soul.